3 years. That's how long the average man was tests on the wrong woman before he finally admits what he knew in the first 3 weeks. 3 years of investing emotions, time, money, energy into someone who was never going to be what he needed. 3 years he'll never get back. And here's what nobody tells you. Those 3 years weren't lost because she changed. They were lost because he ignored signs that were screaming at him from day one. There are 7 specific signs that tell you with 95% accuracy that you're wasting your time. The second sign shows up in how she talks about her future, and most men completely miss it. The fourth appears in a single conversation about money, and the seventh is so subtle that you'll think, I'm reaching until you see it once and realize it's been there in every failed relationship you've ever witnessed. These signs don't lie. They don't give false positives. And if you see 3 or more of them in a woman you're dating, you have exactly 2 choices. Leave now with minimal damage, or stay and pay the full price later. Most men choose option 2. They ignore the signs. They make excuses. They convince themselves she's different, that love conquers all, that things will change. And then years later, they're sitting across from a divorce lawyer wondering how they didn't see it coming. You're about to see it coming right now. Before you waste another month, why most men waste years on the wrong woman, let me tell you something that will save you years of your life. The wrong woman doesn't reveal herself through catastrophic failures. She reveals herself through small, consistent patterns that you've been trained to ignore. Society programmed you to believe that having standards makes you shallow, that observing patterns makes you judgmental, that protecting your time makes you commitment phobic. This programming exists for one reason. 2, keep you invested in situations that don't serve your future. Because here's the economic reality. Women benefit from male investment regardless of whether the relationship has long-term potential. Your time, attention, resources, emotional energy. They extract value from all of it, whether or not they can ever give you what you actually need for a stable future. So, they've created a social framework where you're supposed to ignore obvious incompatibilities, overlook clear red flags, and keep investing based on hope instead of evidence. And most men follow that framework straight into disaster. The wrong woman costs you more than just the relationship. She cost you years of your prime. She cost you opportunities with right women you passed because you were occupied. She costs you financial resources you'll never recover. She cost you psychological damage that affects future relationships. The full price is catastrophic. These 7 signs protect you from paying that price. They give you permission to trust what you're seeing instead of what you're being told you should feel. First sign, she has no clear vision for her future. The first sign most men completely overlook. She has no clear articulated vision for her future beyond vague aspirations. Ask her specifically where she sees herself in 5 years. Not as a test, but as genuine curiosity. The right woman has an answer. Maybe it's career progression. Maybe it's family goals. Maybe it's personal development targets. The specific content matters less than the fact that she's thought about it deeply and can articulate it clearly. The wrong woman gives you nothing concrete. I don't know. Just happy, I guess. Living my best life. We'll see what happens. These aren't humble responses. They're evidence of someone who doesn't think strategically about their life trajectory. And here's why this matters critically. If she doesn't have vision for her own life, she definitely doesn't have vision for building something with you. You're not a partner in her future. You're a passenger in her present. And when that present stops feeling good, you're gone. Notice also how she talks about past goals. Did she set them? Did she achieve them? Or does she have a pattern of starting things enthusiastically and abandoning them when they require sustained effort? Because that pattern applies to relationships too. The right woman demonstrates goal setting, planning, execution, follow through in multiple areas of her life. The wrong woman demonstrates impulsivity, short-term thinking, and reliance on circumstances instead of strategy. If she can't plan her own life, she absolutely cannot be trusted to build a shared life with you. You'll end up doing all the planning, all the strategizing, all the executing while she passively receives the benefits. That's not partnership, that's you carrying dead weight. Second sign, she brings problems, not solutions. Second critical sign, Observe the ratio of problems she brings to you versus solutions she generates herself. The right woman encounters problems, attempts to solve them herself, and only involves you when she genuinely needs input or support. She takes ownership. She's resourceful. She doesn't immediately outsource her problems to you. The wrong woman encounters problems, and her first instinct is to make them your problems. She calls you in crisis mode over situations she could handle herself. She creates drama around minor inconveniences. She expects you to rescue her from consequences of her own decisions. Pay attention to this pattern in the first few months. How does she handle conflict at work? Does she strategize and navigate, or does she complain endlessly expecting you to validate and fix? How does she handle difficult family dynamics? Does she set boundaries, or does she drag you into chaos expecting you to manage it? And critically, when you offer solutions to problems she brings, how does she respond? Does she implement them and thank you? Or does she reject them and continue complaining? Because if she rejects solutions, she doesn't want problems solved. She wants attention and emotional labor. This pattern compounds viciously over time. What starts as she needs my support becomes I'm managing her entire life before you realize it. You become her therapist, her financial advisor, her career counselor, her emotional regulator, and she contributes nothing equivalent in return. The wrong woman treats you like a utility she plugged into. The right woman treats you like a partner she's building with. The difference is absolutely massive and observable from month 1. Third sign, she disrespects your time consistently. Third sign, that's easier to spot but harder to act on. She consistently disrespects your time through chronic lateness, last-minute cancellations, and poor planning. This isn't about occasionally being late due to legitimate circumstances. This is about a pattern. She's late to most dates. She cancels plans regularly with minimal notice. She commits to things and then changes her mind. She expects you to always be available, but her availability is conditional and unpredictable. Here's what this really signals. You're not a priority. You're an option. She gives you whatever time is left after everything else she considers more important. And what she considers more important includes trivial things, which tells you exactly where you rank. The right woman respects time because she understands it's the only non-renewable resource. She shows up when she says she will. She plans ahead. She communicates clearly about scheduling. She treats commitments seriously. But here's what most men do. They make excuses for her. She's just busy. She's not good with time. It's not a big deal. And every excuse you make trains her that disrespecting your time has no consequences. Watch how she treats time commitments to others, too. Is she consistently late to work? Does she blow off friends regularly? Because if it's a pattern across her life, you're not special. You're just another person whose time she doesn't value. And ask yourself honestly, do you want to build a life with someone who can't manage basic scheduling? Because raising children requires precision timing. Managing household responsibilities requires coordination. Building anything meaningful requires both partners respecting commitments. If she can't show up on time for a date she committed to, she can't be trusted with bigger responsibilities. Let me be direct with you. Look, I wasted years not understanding these patterns. I made excuses. I thought I was being patient, understanding, giving chances. I thought that's what good men do. I was wrong. Good men protect their future. Good men recognize when they're being shown incompatibility and they act on it instead of hoping it changes. Everything I'm sharing here comes from experience, from watching patterns, from finally learning to trust evidence over hope. And I put the complete system together in the High Value Woman Code. It's in the description. Patterns frameworks exactly what to look for and when to walk away. Get it if you're serious about not wasting years, because the next 4 signs are even more critical. Fourth sign, her relationship with money is chaotic. Fourth sign is about her financial behavior, and it predicts everything about future stability. You don't need to see her bank account. Just observe how she talks about and handles money. Does she budget? Does she save? Does she plan for future expenses? Or does she live completely paycheck to paycheck despite making decent income? The wrong woman has chaotic financial life. She impulse purchases. She has debt from discretionary spending. She expects others to cover her when she overspends. She treats money emotionally instead of strategically. And here's the test. Suggest doing something free or low cost for a date. Her reaction tells you everything. Does she embrace it, or does she need expensive experiences to feel valued? Because if she needs money spent on her to feel special, that need is infinite and you can never fill it. Watch also how she talks about other people's money. Does she judge people by what they spend? Does she expect men to pay for everything always? Does she have transactional mindset about relationships? The right woman has financial discipline regardless of income level. She saves. She plans. She doesn't expect you to fund her lifestyle. She brings financial partnership, not financial burden. If she's financially chaotic now, she'll be financially chaotic when you're married. Except then her chaos directly impacts your financial future, your credit, your ability to build wealth. This isn't judgment. It's pattern recognition that saves you from financial devastation. Fifth sign, she doesn't respect your boundaries. Fifth critical sign, when you set boundaries, she violates them, tests them, or makes you feel guilty for having them. Boundaries are how you protect your mental health, your time, your energy. The right woman respects them automatically. If you say you need space to work, she gives it. If you say certain topics are off limits, she honors that. If you set reasonable limits, she doesn't fight them. The wrong woman sees boundaries as challenges. You tell her you can't talk during work hours. She texts you constantly anyway. You tell her you need one night a week for yourself. She creates crisis that night. You set a limit. She pushes until you concede. And she weaponizes emotions when you enforce boundaries. If you loved me, I can't believe you're choosing that over me. You're being selfish. All designed to make you feel guilty for having basic self-protection. This pattern reveals something fundamental. She doesn't see you as a person with legitimate needs. She sees you as a resource that exists to serve her needs. Your boundaries inconvenience her access to that resource, so they must be eliminated. Test this early. Set a small boundary, something reasonable. Watch what happens. Does she respect it, or does she immediately test it? Her response tells you if she's capable of respecting you as an individual or if she only values what you provide. If she can't respect small boundaries early, she will absolutely violate major boundaries later. This is non-negotiable incompatibility. Sixth sign, how she treats people who can't benefit her. Sixth sign is character revealing. Watch carefully how she treats people who have nothing to offer her. How does she treat waiters, baristas, retail workers, service staff? Is she polite, patient, respectful, or is she dismissive, demanding, rude? This tells you who she actually is when there's no social benefit to being kind. Watch how she talks about people in her life who are going through difficult times. Does she show empathy and support? Or does she distance herself from anyone who isn't fun or useful anymore? The wrong woman is transactional in all relationships. She's charming to people who can benefit her and cold to everyone else. And right now you can benefit her. So you see the charming version, but the moment you can't, you'll see the version the waiter sees. The right woman has baseline kindness independent of what others can do for her. She's respectful to everyone. She helps people even when there's no benefit. She maintains relationships through difficult periods, not just good times. This isn't about being perfect. It's about baseline character. And if her character is transactional, your relationship is transactional. The moment you stop providing value, you're gone. Pay attention to this early because it's impossible to fake long-term. The real her comes out in unguarded moments with people she doesn't think matter. That's who you're actually committing to. Seventh sign, she never takes accountability. Seventh and final sign, the most damning, she never genuinely takes accountability for anything that goes wrong. Listen to how she explains past relationship failures. Is it always the other person's fault? Every ex was toxic, crazy, abusive. She was always the victim, never a contributor to problems. The wrong woman has zero pattern of self-reflection or accountability. When something goes wrong, it's circumstances, other people, bad luck, anything except her choices or behavior. She never says, I handled that poorly or I made a mistake, without immediately adding but and justifying why it wasn't really her fault. This is catastrophic for relationship longevity because every relationship has conflicts, mistakes, problems. If she can't take accountability for her part, those conflicts never get resolved. They just accumulate until the relationship collapses. Test this. Observe how she handles being wrong about something small. Did she get directions wrong? Did she misremember something when corrected? Does she acknowledge it gracefully? Or does she get defensive? The right woman can say, "You're right. I was wrong. My mistake," without ego damage. The wrong woman would rather argue reality than admit error and watch for the phrase, "I'm sorry you feel that way." That's not an apology. That's blame shifting. She's making your feelings the problem instead of her behavior. That's accountability avoidance. If she can't take accountability for small things now, she absolutely cannot take accountability for major things later. Marriage, children, shared finances, all of it requires both partners being able to admit mistakes and adjust. If she can't, you'll spend your life being blamed for everything while she contributes nothing to solutions. What to do if you see these signs? So, you're seeing 3 or more of these signs in a woman you're dating. What do you do? First, be honest with yourself. Don't make excuses. Don't convince yourself she's different or she'll change or you can fix her. You can't. These are character patterns, not temporary phases. Second, consider your timeline and goals. If you want marriage and family within certain time frame, every month you waste on wrong woman is a month you're not finding right woman. The opportunity cost is massive. Third, make the decision. Either you're committed to ignoring signs and accepting consequences or you're leaving to protect your future. There's no third option where signs magically disappear. And if you leave, don't explain using these frameworks. Don't try to educate her or fix her or help her see her patterns. Just exit cleanly. "This isn't working for me. I wish you well." That's sufficient. Your job isn't to save her. It's to protect your future. And every day you spend with wrong woman is a day you're not available for right woman. The complete framework for evaluation is in the High Value Woman Code in the description. Everything I've covered here, plus deeper analysis, more signs, exact decision frameworks. Get it? If you want the full system, the brutal truth, here's what most men don't want to hear. The wrong woman doesn't become the right woman through your love, patience, or investment. She either is right or she isn't. And these 7 signs tell you which one she is. You can ignore them. Most men do. They waste years hoping patterns change. They invest everything into someone who was never capable of being what they needed, and they pay catastrophic price for that hope. Or you can trust the signs. You can protect your time, your energy, your future. You can make decisions based on evidence instead of fantasy. And you can save yourself years of damage by acting on information instead of ignoring it. The signs are there. They've always been there. The only question is whether you have the courage to see them and act accordingly. Most men don't. They choose comfortable delusion over uncomfortable truth. They waste their prime years on wrong women because admitting the truth requires admitting they made a mistake investing in the first place. But you're not most men. You watch this video. You're seeking truth instead of validation. That already separates you. Now the question is, will you act on what you know or will you make excuses and hope things change? Your future depends on that answer. If this video gave you clarity you needed, subscribe. Every week we discuss truths that protect your future. Comment how many of these 7 signs are you seeing. Put only the number. The signs never lie. The question is whether you're brave enough to trust them and act. Your time is the only resource you can never get back. Don't waste it on someone who was never going to be what you need. You deserve better. Now go find it.